Chaos in the suburbs. In the silent suburbs, a frail woman awaits the return of a haunting presence. As darkness descends, chaos unravels, and the curse of the unseen is unleashed upon the unsuspecting neighborhood, transforming tranquility into a malevolent stage of terror. The sun had long disappeared beyond the horizon, leaving behind a shroud of darkness that draped over the unsuspecting suburban neighborhood. The moon, a mere sliver in the vast expanse of the starry sky, cast an eerie glow upon the streets below. Silence clung to the air like a lingering nightmare, as if the entire world were waiting for something wicked to unravel. Mrs. Greenfield, a frail and delicate woman, stood at her kitchen window, her eyes apprehensive, searching for remnants of a not-so-distant past. The shadows dancing on her face revealed her underlying torment, the pain of memories refusing to fade away. The tick-tock of the old grandfather clock downstairs resonated with her pounding heart, each beat a painful reminder of the chaos that had gripped their seemingly idyllic lives. The rustling of leaves outside interrupted the stillness, and Mrs. Greenfield's gnarled hands clutched her apron, her knuckles turning white from the tightening grip. She could feel it, an invisible presence looming in the darkness, watching, waiting. Her trembling lips whispered a desperate plea for salvation that hovered in the chilling air, unheard and unanswered. As the clouds swirled above, a sudden flash of lightning sliced through the inky sky, momentarily illuminating the desolate landscape. She gasped, for there, standing in the distance, caught in the ephemeral glow, stood the embodiment of her darkest fears. A figure, tall and gaunt, its tattered coat billowing in an unfelt wind, its pale skin hanging loosely from skeletal cheeks. The eyes, oh, those haunting eyes, piercing through the darkness, colder than the wintry night. The doorbell rang, its sound claws scraping against her already shattered nerves. Mrs. Greenfield's heart trembled with trepidation as she hesitantly approached the front door. Her clammy hands grasped the doorknob, her touch summoning a cacophony of whispers from the past, swirling around her fragile frame. With a creak, the door swung open, revealing a masked figure, a grotesque, macabre imitation of a jester. Its painted smile twisted into a sickening grin, and its eyes, devoid of humanity, focused intently on Mrs. Greenfield. Her breaths came in shallow, ragged gasps, as if the air itself had grown heavy with malevolence. The jester raised a hand, slender fingers adorned with tarnished rings gleaming eerily under the moon's pale gaze. It spoke, a voice as jagged as shattered glass, barely a whisper that slithered through the space between them. Chaos shall reign in these suburban streets, for the curse of the unseen has been unleashed. Fear consumed Mrs. Greenfield, the tendrils of terror crawling up her spine. Her voice, once melodious, choked on imprisoned screams, her heart pounding against her ribcage like a wild beast desperate to escape its prison. Time seemed to stretch, the seconds bloated with agonizing anticipation, until reality shattered like a fractured mirror. Chaos, like a malevolent orchestra, swelled through the once tranquil streets of the suburbs. The jester's proclamation had become a twisted symphony of shattered windows, echoing screams, and frantic footsteps. Neighbors turned against neighbors, friends transformed into adversaries, their souls trapped in the puppeteer's merciless game. And as the night unfolded, the chaos itself became alive. Whispers in the wind, tendrils creeping into every crevice, eerie laughter blending with desperate wails. The suburbs, once a haven of tranquility, had now mutated into an otherworldly stage, where darkness commanded an unholy performance of suffering. Mrs. Greenfield, her soul shattered like shards of glass, stood amidst the chaos, a silent victim tethered to the strings of fate. In her tear-stricken eyes, a distant flicker of hope whispered its final goodbye, swallowed whole by the abyss. The suburbs descended into darkness, consumed by the lingering curse, forever trapped in its grasp.